Welcome to Baxter Yoga. I'm here at my home studio once again. We're still in shelter in place here in Oakland at the time of this filming, so thanks for joining me today. I wanted to mention first that you can still order Yoga for Healthy Aging t-shirts and my book, Yoga for Healthy Aging, on my website. And on that website also you can find my live streaming schedule of all the classes that I'm offering from right here in my living room. And even though we're starting this and doing this during the shelter in place period, this may continue afterwards, so you might want to enjoy some of those longer live practices. Also know that you can find archived practices that you can practice at any time you like on the website Yoga U Online on their practice channel. So check that out. I've got 30 and 60-minute practices on there, and I think I've got something like 26 or 27 different practices and tutorials that are available to you if you do that, as well as great classes from my amazing wife, Melina Meza, and many other really great teachers. So today we're going to be doing something called floating seated figure 4 pose. And some of you know figure 4 pose or thread the needle pose as a great hip opener and a stretcher of the piriformis muscle. And I thought we would challenge ourselves a little bit and our balance a little bit by adding a little twist to the regular way that we might do this in the sitting position. We often do this lying on the back, but there's a seated position, a chair position, and even a standing position that you can do this in. So all you're going to need really is a sticky mat, and some of you might use a strap if you're a little bit tighter in the hips. So I'm going to have you go ahead and I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this a little easier, and I'm just going to suggest that you lean back a little bit with your feet out in front of you so that you can easily take your left foot and bring it up onto your right knee. So for me, with some of the activity I've been involved in lately, this amount of positioning and pressing into my arms and lifting my chest a little bit, I'm actually getting a pretty good stretch in my left hip, this top leg hip. If I want to play around with the balancing position, I'm going to reach down like I normally would lying on my back and hold on to the back of my right hamstring. And then I'm going to tip back just a little bit so that I can find my balance spot and lift that right heel just a little bit off the floor. And then it's interesting because this is a little bit trickier than doing like basic boat pose in some ways, because I'm actually trying to still create a little stretch in my hips as I balance in the posture. I'm going to show you another variation in a moment if holding onto the back of the leg is a little challenging. So go ahead and let's bring the right foot down and release that left foot to the floor. You might stretch the legs out for a moment and roll the legs in and out. The front hips work pretty strongly when we're doing that pose in general, so it's nice to give them a respite. So if you find it hard to hold on with your hands, let's first of all do the second side. So we're going to bring the right foot up. Oh, this side is even tighter today. So sometimes if I wanted to grab on here and I can't quite do that easily, I can grab my strap and bring the strap behind the knee and use that. It's like a little arm extender. And then we can lean back here and I'm pulling in on the strap and pushing forward with the leg a little bit, and then I'm still encouraging that right hip to open up a little bit, and I'm feeling the little undulation of the body. I'm trying to keep a nice length in the spine without rounding or overarching, and then just find your balance here. So a little bit of the floating seated figure 4 or thread the needle pose here, and taking a couple breaths and then releasing and bringing it down. Once again, when you're done, stretch the legs out, maybe roll the legs in and out a little bit, and then just maybe do a little undulation of the spine like we would in cat-cow or seated cat-cow. Let's try it one more time on each side. So I'm not going to use the strap this time. I'm able to do it with the hands, but you now know how to do it with the strap in case you need to try that. So leaning back first to make it easier to get the left leg up. So take a moment to kind of notice if you're getting a little bit of stretch sensation. You want to try and maintain that a little bit so you get the double benefits of working on balance and getting a good stretch in the hips. I'm going to reach up, so my chest lifts up a little bit. I'm going to lean back again, and then I'm going to kind of have just enough lean back that there's some good tension through the arms, and then I'm going to start to find my balance point. I could challenge myself by bringing that right shin up more parallel with the floor like we would in one of our variations of boat pose, Navasana. Beautiful. Good, and then we're going to bring the foot down. You can stay for longer, of course, if you'd like, but I like to stay for a couple breaths. Take a moment, maybe let the hips rock a little bit side to side. And then let's bring the right ankle up on the left knee. And again, I'm going to reach up, I'm going to lift up a little bit as I do that, and then I'm going to lean back so my arms are pretty straight. Instead of throwing my head back, I'm looking straight forward. And then as you find your balance position, pushing forward a little bit with the left leg pulling back with the hands, you might try and see if you can lift that left shin up while maintaining good balance here. And this is kind of a little new variation, so there's nothing that you're trying to perfect here. You're just trying to have a little experience of exploring a new place that's a little different. Good, and then bring the foot down. I felt a little more undulation in that side, so that's the side I might work on again, just to see if I can get that a little more steady over time. So the floating, sitting, thread the needle, or figure 4 pose is our practice for the day. I hope you had fun with that. Maybe play around with that in your practice this week, and let me know how that goes. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and YouTube at Baxter Bell Yoga. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.